Hey, it's Liv 105.7 The Point at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. It is a Point Big summer show tonight with Godsmack and Stained. A hell of a combination. These two bands really came up together late 90s, early 2000s. So excited to see them both here tonight. I'm about to talk with a couple of the guys from Godsmack, and this is a very special time to see the band because they just released a new album earlier this year, and they announced that this is the last album they are ever going to make. Though it doesn't sound like this is the end of Godsmack, we will hear what's next for them when we have our chat. 105.7 The Point. It is Liv live at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. It is a Point Big summer show, and I am joined right now by Sully and Shannon of Godsmack, co-headlining with Stained tonight. Guys, thank you so much for sitting down and chatting with me.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
So this is the first night of the tour, is that correct?
It is?
Yes.
All right, so nerves, excitement, what goes into starting a tour off?
Well, let me say, we played the night before last, so we kind of kicked it off at
Okay.
this festival in Cadott, Wisconsin, and it was fantastic. And we had like a 6-week break, and we hadn't even rehearsed. And it's just like riding a bike, man.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't forget. And this is kind of special, too, because you've announced and you've made it clear that this album that came out earlier this year, Lighting Up the Sky, is your last album. So we're promoting a new album for the last time, but it's not the end of Godsmack, right?
No, it's not the end. It's we're just kind of closing one chapter in our lives, and we're kind of really excited actually to like open up a new chapter, which is just celebrating the history of the band
Yeah.
and the catalog of the music, and just letting that live on. I mean, we've been very blessed to have a good career so far, and we're still here and relevant. And so, at some point, we want to lighten up the workload a little bit and just kind of enjoy why we do this, which is this.
Yeah.
We love the studio, we love creating, we love writing and all that stuff as well, but it's the more tedious work, right?
Sure.
This is really the reward at the end of all that stuff that the people don't get to see. They just get to see this moment, but there's a year of work that goes into creating that, and it's it takes a lot of time away from family and friends and people we also want to spend time with. And then the touring starts, and then we're really away from all those people. So this just kind of lightens the load a little bit and gives us an opportunity to just go out there and, celebrate 25 years of
Yeah, that's a hell of a
all the
career.
work we put into this.
Absolutely. It's a hell of a career, and there's a lot to celebrate. And when I heard that, I'm like, you know what, good on them. Mad respect to these bands that are still doing their thing and putting out new music at 70 years old. But sometimes you sit back and you're like, dude, you can relax. You can take a break and enjoy like the fruits of your labor. And I think that's great that you guys are doing that and, taking your time to give back and enjoy. And I know giving back's kind of important to you. I know with Unforgettable in that music video, you went to a high school in New Hampshire and were giving back to the kids. Is that something you want to do more of, giving back?
Yeah. And we have the Scars Foundation, which we started 2017, maybe 2017, 2018. And, that was a big thing for us, I feel, because, we're giving back. And, this whole thing, like people have to understand, Sully and I particularly we both missed our daughter's first steps, so we put this band first before our lives, before family and friends, and that's what you have to do to be successful in this business. And so finally, this is a reward, man. We can kick back and climb other mountains, and keep this going too, and love each other. So, but not many bands can say the same four dudes after 20 years still like each other,
That's huge. That's huge.
We love each other.
Oh, that's
It's not even a like. It's like a deep love. Like we really do love and respect each
family.
other. We've jumped over so many mountains and climbed so many hills, and there's been a lot of complications along the way. So it wasn't a walk in the park by no means. But again, it's something to celebrate because here we are. We get along better than ever. The music's still relevant. We're still doing big shows. It's really a blessing. And now we're even at an age, like he was saying, our daughters are, we can hang out with them now as humans, as adults.
That's awesome.
To drink with them. And, it's cool. Maybe we missed a big chunk of the beginning, but the moms were there to nurture them and, help with that. We were the providers. But now it's like coming around where they like really enjoy coming to see us and coming to see the shows and, that kind of thing. My daughter actually is living with me right now. So It's really cool, man. And I love this stage of the career that we're at. And listen, you can never say never. We don't know if we're going to put out a single here or there. We don't know if we're going to do a collaboration here or there. We just know that right now, what feels right for this moment, and it's why we took the steps to announce it, was that we really do believe this will probably be the last full body of work from Godsmack.
Yeah, and I think that's great. You're setting expectations for the fans, and from what I hear, everyone's been pretty supportive. And you're like, yeah, enjoy your life, enjoy that family time, and enjoy these years, and do what you want. You've earned it at this point.
Yeah, we have no guilt about it. But we're not going anywhere either. We're still coming out. We're going to be doing live shows, and we're going to tour and, like I said, honor the career and do kind of the best, greatest hits show, you know?
And that's still going to be a jam-packed show, you know?
It's so jammed. We don't even have time to fit all the singles in one show. It's literally like, you know, and again, without sounding like we're bragging, we've had a good run. We have like 26 top 10 singles. So even if we played 2 nights back to back at the same venue, we could literally do 15 songs a night and never play the same single twice.
Yeah.
So it's just getting to that point where at what point do you start to think for the fans and not yourself? Because when we go to see our favorite bands, the Metallicas, the Aerosmiths or whatever, do we really care about the new record that's out? I mean, it's cool to hear it or whatever, but we're going there to see Dream On and Walk This Way and Same Old Song and Dance. So I'd like to think within our fan base, they're coming to see I Stand Alone and Voodoo and Keep Away and Bulletproof and the things that we've released that have become successful for us. So we're also trying to be mindful of that.
Yeah, and I think that's really wonderful. And you were talking about how you get to like hang out with your daughters. They're at that age now. And I was just talking to my dad back home, and I'm like, I remember when you had Godsmack on cassette, and we would listen to that in the car. And so it's like, for me, it's like I've grown up listening to you guys. My dad has, and that's something that we've bonded over. And yeah, so I want to come and I want to hear Voodoo and I want to hear whatever and have those memories. And I would think that must be a really cool thing for you guys, because you think of like those classic Aerosmith songs, and it's like that lights up something in you, the nostalgia part. And now you guys have nostalgia in generations after you. Is that wild?
Yeah, and some people look at nostalgia as like a bad word, but I think it's like,
It's
I mean,
special.
like you can put all the gold records and platinum records on the walls and all the accolades that we've earned or whatever, but our biggest badge of pride is the badge of longevity. I mean, again, 20 years of 4 dudes that still love each other. Come on, that's the win to me.
Also, can we derail here for a second and talk about what we're smelling?
Yes.
I mean, I'm ready to go steal a box of those donuts. It smells like catering is making fresh donuts right now.
Yeah, I've actually never seen this back here. So like catering is outside where we're usually hanging out, and they've been at this for hours nonstop. I don't know what they're making, but it's torture.
I'm so hungry now. Like, all I can smell is delicious food products being made.
So what's the food preferences here? If you could have
Oh
like
my
your
God.
last
We
meal.
are foodies.
Yeah?
Huge foodies. Like, I'm the kind of guy that when I go out to a restaurant with my girl or my daughter, even with Shannon, we order, like, no one really orders a meal. We just order like several things. We do it like buffet style, and then everybody picks and tastes this and tastes that. But I don't think there's really any food that we don't like.
Yeah, and you know, it's just so funny over the years. 20 years is a long time, and you know, I'm sober, Tony's sober. You know, Robbie and Sully have always had a control over them drinking. You know what I mean? So like, they didn't have problem. But anyway, point is, it used to be about like on the nights off, we'd go and find a bar, a rock bar, or a strip bar. Even. Yeah, that's how rock and roll was. And then over the years, now it's about food. It's about food, man.
Yeah. You find your
We
food
met the
there.
guys from Rush. They're like, it's about the soup. When you're getting your 50s, it's always about the soup and the chips. Like, they have very specific like things that they enjoy in their age.
That's amazing. So I did wanted to bring up too, I know early on in your career, one of the big things that helped you guys was WAAF in Boston. And we miss them, obviously. They were such a huge player back in the day. And so with times changing, digital streaming being what it is today, where do you see radio being in the future in their relationship with bands? Is that still important to bands right now?
Well, do you mind? I'll answer that. It's the most important thing for us because this band was never a part of the MTV culture and all the things that went on back in the day when they were breaking bands. Not that we had a bad relationship with them, But as you know, they kind of morphed very quickly from like the 80s hair bands and all that stuff into the pop world
Sure.
and the commercial stuff and whatever it is, and dance and hip hop and whatever. And we were never a part of that culture. We respect it. We love a lot of that music, but we built our career off of touring and radio. So I hope radio never goes away, because I love this. I love to be able to like talk about the music and the fans and the career and have good conversations with people like yourself, because it's the radio that really built this band. You know, we've always been a active rock radio band. And so between that and just staying on the road and kind of doing that for our lives, that's really what the hard work was just putting in that time and building a fan base from the ground up.
Yeah.
So radio is very important.
I love that. I love
We
to hear
couldn't have
that.
done it without the radio, period.
Yeah.
There it is. We are a rock radio American band. And going into the future, it's hard for me to even comment if I'm asked the question about younger bands and stuff, how they, because we made it in clubs. We had to come and you had to play multiple sets a night for many, many years, him and I especially, in different bands. But I met him in 86, 87, you know, playing local bands, playing cover songs even, you know, it was a different world where now you can get signed or get heard by a major label by how many likes you have. And so if it comes to like people say, well, what do we do? Well, how can we get started? How do we make it? I'm clueless.
I'm actually surprised. How is it that they haven't figured out how to transition radio into the Spotify's and playlists and all that?
Yeah.
Maybe some people just don't want the interruptions, kind of like when you watch Hulu and you want to order the premium
Sure.
version so you don't get the commercials or whatever. But when radio is a good radio, it can be really fun. It's entertaining. They give you some bullet points on the news that's coming up or whatever. I don't really want to sit there and listen to the news and all the dragged out stories, but you guys usually do well with like picking some like headlines and, you know, kind of making a little skit out of it and then running into some songs. And I always enjoyed that. I feel like in the car and places like that, sometimes it's cool.
Yeah, it's nice to break it up.
So if it's becoming, you know, a bit archaic at this point, radio, then, you know, you guys got to figure that out too and just kind of morph yourselves into what is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up, my mom, there was never, I didn't walk into my kitchen. She had the radio on all day.
Of course.
I mean, I always just heard. So, you know, that's something that I feel is cheating kids, you know,
Yeah.
that would
And
get, because, you know, especially in the 70s and 80s when we grew up, there was a very eclectic mix of music, and rock was the big one, where now rock isn't the big one, you know, and so it's been a shift, you know, culturally.
Sure.
It's all cyclical, you know, as we know, everything kind of has like a 30-year cycle. And now you know, what's coming back now, the 2000s or something like
Yeah.
that, right? The trends, the
For
clothing
sure.
and all that stuff. I don't know, but maybe, listen, we could have just really birthed something right here. Maybe me and you team up
Let's
and
do
we
it.
figure out how to get radio onto some of these
do it.
platforms, and we create something, and then, you know, maybe I don't have to tour for the rest of my life. I can retire, you can
That would be
retire.
great. I love that.
Let's
I
do it.
love that.
It's recorded now, so if anyone tries to steal it,
Copyright.
just letting you know,
Liv and Sully.
me and Liv here, we're gonna come at you hard,
We're gonna come at you wicked hard because we're
wicked hard,
people.
wicked hard.
So, and I think it's a testament, like, to you guys taking the time to do this. I mean, you guys have been in the game for decades at this point. You could have easily been like, radio, nah. And so it really means a lot to come out here and support the fans that are listening right now on air. And there's still so much magic there. When I'm giving away tickets to the show, the excitement, the people that are calling in, that's still alive and well. And that's thanks to you guys still, you know, playing.
And thanks to you guys too. We just had this conversation with our radio guy at the record label. We're like, the last tour we did, where was radio? Why weren't we at every station going on air and talking to the people who've supported us for 25 years? They helped build this band. We need to honor that. So he's stepping up right now to make sure these things happen everywhere that we go.
Oh, I love that. And I so appreciate you guys saying that. And thank you guys so much for coming out. We can't wait to see you tonight. Co-headlining with Stained, a Point Big summer show here at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. Sully, Shannon, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.